The metal door slammed behind me with a hollow echo that vibrated in my chest. The smell of bleach and sweat clung to the air as the guard's voice droned. 6 months, Miller. Maybe next time, pay your dues. My dues. I sat on the cold steel bench, palms trembling. I could still hear her voice, calm and venom-laced, from the courtroom that morning. Your Honor, he hasn't paid child support for nearly a year. Our son deserves better. Our son. Even now the words tasted sour. My ex-wife, Jessica, had always known how to twist the knife. I wasn't a perfect man, but I had never once turned my back on my child, or so I thought. That night in my cell I stared at the ceiling, my mind replaying the years we'd shared before everything fell apart. Her laughter when we'd moved into our first apartment. Her hand resting on her stomach the day she told me she was pregnant. The way I'd cried when I held that baby boy for the first time. Ethan. My son. When we divorced 2 years ago it wasn't amicable, but I tried to keep peace for him. Jessica had changed, colder, distracted, but I never questioned her loyalty to him. I made every payment on time until I lost my job. I told her I'd catch up soon. She said she understood. Then without warning she took me to court. And when I couldn't pay the full amount she had me jailed. It was during my 3rd week behind bars that my brother Tom came to visit. He looked uneasy, eyes darting around the room before he leaned in. Mark, you need to hear something. What? It's about Ethan. My stomach dropped. What about him? Tom hesitated, then slid a folded paper across the table. I overheard Jessica talking to someone outside the courthouse. She mentioned he might not be yours. For a second the world tilted. My vision blurred and my throat tightened. Don't mess with me, Tom. I'm not. Look, I asked my buddy, he's a lawyer, to see if we could get a DNA test ordered. It's risky, but... I clenched the paper in my fists. Do it. The following weeks crawled by. I tried to bury myself in routine push-ups, cold meals, sleepless nights, but my mind never stopped spinning. Every memory now had cracks. The time she disappeared for weekends with friends. The sudden distance after Ethan was born. The way she avoided eye contact during the divorce. By the time I was released on parole, the DNA test results were waiting. Tom met me outside the courthouse, his jaw tight. Ready? No, I whispered. But do it anyway. He handed me the envelope. My fingers shook as I tore it open. The paper inside was thin, clinical, almost sterile. Probability of paternity 0%. I couldn't breathe. The world spun around me, the honking cars, the chatter of people, the warmth of sunlight. It all blurred into noise. For 6 years I had loved that boy more than my own life. Every scraped knee, every bedtime story, every birthday candle. I had been there. And now none of it belonged to me. Tom's voice broke through the haze. I'm sorry, man. I barely heard him. My mind was somewhere else, replaying Jessica's smirk as I was led away in cuffs. The tears I shed for her betrayal. The love I still felt despite everything. That night I drove to her house. Not to scream or fight. I just needed answers. She opened the door surprised. Mark? What are you doing here? Who's his father? I asked quietly. Her lips parted, then pressed together. You shouldn't be here. Don't play that game, Jess. I know. The DNA test came back. He's not mine. Her face drained of color. For a moment guilt flickered in her eyes, but then she lifted her chin. So what if he's not? You were a father to him. You let me go to jail for a child that isn't mine. You owed him that, she snapped. You think biology makes a father? You walked out on us emotionally long before the papers were signed. Her words hit like bullets, each one shattering a piece of what little was left of me. You could have told me, I said. You could have spared me the humiliation, the prison cell, the lies. Tears welled in her eyes, but she turned away. It was one night, Mark. You were working out of town. I was lonely. He doesn't even know. And you were such a good father. I didn't want to ruin that. Then why have me jailed? I asked, my voice cracking. She hesitated. Because I needed the money. And because you left me first. There it was, the confession raw and hollow. Revenge wrapped in survival. I took a deep breath, forcing down the rage clawing at my chest. I'm not pressing charges, I said quietly. But this is the last time we ever speak. She looked stunned. You're just going to walk away? I already spent 6 years being someone's father. I'll spend the rest learning to be myself again. As I turned to leave, Ethan ran to the doorway, his small voice calling out, "Dad." The sound pierced me deeper than any lie. I froze, staring at the boy who still had my heart, even if not my blood. I wanted to turn around to hold him one last time. But I knew that if I did, I'd never let go. So I whispered, "Be good, champ," and walked into the night. Weeks passed. Jessica faced legal trouble for falsifying support claims, but I didn't celebrate. I moved into a small apartment by the bay, started rebuilding piece by piece. Some nights I still dreamed of Ethan, his laughter echoing through halls that no longer belonged to me. One afternoon, months later, a letter arrived. No return address. Inside was a crayon drawing, stick figures of a man, a woman, and a little boy holding hands. Underneath, in shaky handwriting, were the words, "I miss you, Dad." I sank to my knees, the paper trembling in my hands. Maybe love doesn't always end cleanly. Maybe betrayal doesn't erase what was real. But sometimes walking away is the only way to survive it. And that's exactly what I did.